What is up, crazy fam? Guys, listen up. I'm super excited for this video. The build that we're gonna go over today is an absolute masterpiece, and I'm telling you right now, Endgame has never been easier. You have insane ad control. You have survivability. Champions are simply not an issue. Overall, this is my new favorite PvE build. Oh, I'm super excited. So let's not waste time and jump right into it. So this is the overall build. Let's go ahead and start off with the exotic that we're gonna be running. It's gonna be the Aberrant Leap. I hope I'm not destroying that name. Its exotic perk is called Puppeteer's Control. Dranger's Lash spawns 2 additional projectiles, tracks targets more aggressively, and travels further. Gain woven mail when suspending targets. Now, the cool thing is this also works when you use any kind of suspending ability in the game, such as the grenade that we're going to be rocking, by the way. And there's many other ways you can do it, which makes this build absolutely phenomenal. And this exotic alone, guys, is just top tier when it comes to endgame, simply because your ad control is out of this world and you don't have to worry about taking unnecessary damage. Now, for all the people that don't know, woven mail gives you even more damage reduction. So in combination with, for example, max resilience, you can sit there and tank so much damage that it's incredible. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the stats here. We're going to go max resilience and max discipline. However, if you do want to have more recovery instead of discipline, you can do that, because the build that we're running provides us with grenade energy very comfortably. And you can always go for more intellect right here, because this super in PvE is really strong. Now, before we take a look at the mods on our armor pieces, I want to go over all the fragments and the artifact mods to give you guys a better idea about the rotation that we're going to be using. The first one we're going to talk about is the Untangler. Destroying a tangle with a strand weapon suspends targets damaged by the explosion. Now, also remember that because of the exotic that you're wearing, this right here will also proc woven mail. Now, on top of that, we have the Threaded Blast. Destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion. So this makes this one right here even better. For the fragments, we're going to start off with Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. This will give you the ability to pretty much have your class ability up at all times. Next one is Thread of Transmutation. While you have woven mail, weapon final blows create a tangle. And this is very important, because with our build, we're able to suspend enemies at all times, which means that we're able to have woven mail up at all times pretty much. On top of that, we're going to be using Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy, which is just overall an incredible fragment. And then finally, we have Thread of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the target, and their outgoing damage is significantly reduced. So guys, not only do you have more damage reduction thanks to woven mail, but because of the overall setup, you have absolutely out of this world ad control. And on top of that, you are going to be able to lower their damage output. So you guys can see how powerful this is going to be at endgame, because when you're playing that endgame content, it's mostly about survivability. If you can stay alive, you're good to go. The grenade of our choice is going to be Shackle Grenade, simply to suspend our enemies. We're going to be using the small barricade. Now, another great thing about this build is this aspect right here into the fray. Destroying a tangle or casting your super grants woven mail for nearby allies. Now, since we're creating these tangles a lot, we're not only buffing ourselves, but we're also pretty much playing the role of support for our teammates. And the cherry on top, obviously, is going to be while you have woven mail, your melee regeneration rate is increased. And then the second aspect is Dranger's Lash. Not only does it suspend, but it also deals damage. Let's take a look at the mods. On the class item, we have Time Dilation. Your decaying armor charge has a longer duration. Then we have Utility Kickstart. And finally, Bomber, to get our grenade back even faster every time we use our class ability. On the boots, we have Innervation, Void Weapon Surge, and Strand Weapon Surge. Here's the chest piece right here. On the gloves, we have Grenade Kickstart, Bolstering Detonation. So pretty much what I'm trying to do is get my grenade class ability, all of these things back even faster, and trust me, works really well. And finally, on the helmet, these are the mods that I'm going to be running right here. Now, for the weapons, we obviously obviously need a Strand weapon. Right now, I'm using the Roulette, the SMG, 600 SMG. You can get this from the Terminal Overload events. Only thing I don't like is the reload on this one. And I know that some of the mods are bugged, so sometimes they don't even activate. However, I'm working on another weapon that will be absolutely phenomenal for Strand builds, and I will let you guys know how that works. And not only that, I'm going to be reviewing more and more weapons and creating more builds for you guys, so stay tuned. For all the people that maybe want to use some different kind of weapons in these slots right here, go ahead and do that. As long as you're using a Strand weapon, this build is going to be just fine. You can use whatever you want in the other slots. Now guys, listen up. I've never felt so strong in endgame content with a PvE build. Yes, stasis is good. Yes, my void build is absolutely amazing, but the amount of survivability that this build has is just simply crazy. And on top of that, when you're using the Strand weapon and shooting those tangles and you see those beautiful explosions and literally everything is suspended at all times, it's just a lot of fun. So this is one of those builds that you have to try out. Don't think about it, just slap it on, give it a go, and trust me, you will be annihilating end game content. Now the rotation you want to be doing is this, right? You pretty much drop your class ability, you suspend everything, then whatever is suspended, you try to kill it with precision shots. If not, that's okay. You will see that tangles will be created. After you destroy the tangle, there's going to be another huge explosion thanks to our mods that we went over that are on our artifact that will cause the other enemies not only to take damage but also get suspended. Meanwhile, you're getting your class ability back non-stop. You can always throw your grenade to suspend. And I'm not even messing around when I'm saying that champions are an absolute joke with this build. They really are. There's just nothing they can do. Even the barrier ones just stand there and get absolutely destroyed. And then unstoppables can be stunned thanks to suspend. And you're going to have that 24/7. So you guys can see how strong this build is. And for me personally, what I do is I keep my super for the bosses, because in the legendary lost sectors, the bosses are really tanky and the super does a lot of damage, and then you can burn it down with your special, heavy, primary, whatever you have. Trust me, once you master the rotations, this is going to be the only Strand build you're going to be using on the Titan. This is the best one out there, and you're going to be destroying everyone and everything. Guys, I'm working on some other builds. As I said, I will be perfecting this build and taking it to the next level, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be reviewing tons of weapons, so I'm super excited about that. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap the like button and subscribe to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, never forget to share that positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh, we got no scoped.